Hey, good almost morning, 12 a.m. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. Welcome to Dedicated to Financial Literacy. Russell Moore coming to you live again. Um, yeah, as promised, I said I would bring in the second installment or the second video on inflation hacks. And I've got a nice little list here. And so I believe I'm going to get through all of them. Um, I'll try not to do much elaborating on each one, but just kind of give you a synopsis of each one. And be sure to hit the subscribe button, the notify. Give me a thumbs up if you like the content. If you don't give me a thumbs down. Be honest. But I believe this is going to be helpful, particularly in 2022. And we've been talking about inflation and how the consumer price index, they're saying it's around about 7%. And I said it was at 7% almost 8 months ago when they were saying it was 3 to 4%. And so I'm listen, the inflation rate is around probably more honestly around 10% if our federal government was honest with us. And so, not to scare you, but look, how much are you paying for gas? You're paying a lot for gas. Here in California, we're over $5. Certain places, it's almost $6. Food is up. Every kind of consumer product you can think of is up. Everything is up, gang. This t shirt is up. Appliances are up. Utilities are up. If you buy a computer right now, they're up. Furniture is up. Yeah, I know they're blaming it on the supply chain. A lot of companies are using this period and hiding behind the word inflation in order to raise prices. And that's the truth. Okay. So, what we want to do is try to combat it. We want to combat inflation where it doesn't hit us so hard. My last video, I showed you my garage. I've stored toilet paper and I've got a little stockpile of toilet paper and upstairs paper towels and toilet paper. And I've got all this detergent enough for 2 years. Uh, yeah, I've got Dawn liquid soap, hand soap, all kinds of multiple products, tons of just because I knew this was coming a year and a half ago. Okay. And, um, and so what I want to encourage people, yeah, number one, if you get out there to the store, pick up some extra items because it's not over. Prices are still going to go up. They're not going to level off too soon. They're going to still keep going up through 2022 and possibly 2023. Inflation is not transitory. I keep saying it. I've said that many times on my videos. All right. Okay. Number two, inflation hacks. That's what we're calling this. Inflation hacks suggestions. Savings. Um, as much as you can. Most people, what they do is they don't make savings a priority. So they'll look at their finances, say, well, we got to pay for this, we got to pay for this, we got to pay for this, and then whatever we have left, we'll try to save it. But no, you have to be intentional in 2022. You have to be intentional and pick an amount that you're going to save. Say every month, this is the amount. Every 2 weeks, this is the amount. Whether it's 150, 200, 300, 450, you say this is the amount we're going to save. Every paycheck, that's going to come out for those that are working or not an entrepreneur. And you don't veer from that and you put that money away. But don't just put it in a savings account. Forget the bank. Find an ETF, a stock, or something to invest in where it appreciates and you're getting interest on it. You're not getting anything from a savings account. It is a waste of time and a waste of money. And get this, if you put your money in the bank, and I've said this before, inflation is at 10%. You put it in the bank, your money isn't increasing in the bank. So guess what? At the end of the year, you're actually at a loss. You want to put it somewhere. Get this, the stock market, the S&P 500 on an average 7 to 10% every year. So if you put it in the S&P 500 this year, hey, if it gains 10% by the end of the year, if the S&P 500, at least you've broken even. But if you put it in the bank, you're at a loss. Okay? All right, save your money. Number 2, pay off debt that doesn't have a fixed rate. And what I mean by that, credit cards don't have a fixed rate because the interest rate, 26, 27%, 28%. You want to attack credit cards and anything that doesn't have a fixed rate. You know, if it doesn't have a fixed rate and it fluctuates, pay those off first. All right. I'm going to start going a little faster here. Pack your lunch. Pack your lunch. I can't tell you how much you can save money. My family is like, we're not eating out as much at Harley at all. And so we're buying our groceries and we're packing food and buying juices. You want to, hey, coffee instead of Starbucks, we got a Keurig right over there. Fix the coffee. I make sure my wife has her coffee in the morning. Not at this second. We're fasting, but she gets her coffee. Why go to Starbucks and pay $5, $7? You can save that money, put it in the bank, and then or put it in, like I said, invest it. All right. Number 4, when you're at dinner out with friends or family, eat before you go. Eat the heavy meal before you go. And then when you get there, just have appetizers. You're mainly going for the fellowship and to spend time and enjoy the company of the people, correct? Okay, so eat a larger meal at home before you go. And then when you get there, just have appetizers. You won't be spending as much money. Remember, the restaurants are up. When you go to a restaurant now, because of inflation, it's expensive. All right, so that's a hack. All right, number 5, shop at secondhand stores, yard sales, estate sales. Look at Google estate sales. You'll be shocked, especially when it comes to furniture and items like that. Here's a good one, Facebook Marketplace. Here's another one, Nextdoor app. Nextdoor app is a wonderful app. And it's your neighbors. And it's great. You can find out what's going on in your neighborhood, keep abreast of what's happening in the neighborhood, whether there's theft or crime or whatever. But it also, on the Nextdoor app, you'll have neighbors that are selling items. And get this, because it's your neighbor, it's your neighborhood, a lot of times it's right down the street, the item that you need to purchase. And it's usually much more cheaper, okay? All right, so that's another hack. Car. If you're thinking of buying a car in 2022, consider an EV, an electric vehicle. Now, I'm not suggesting Tesla, even though I love Tesla, but there's some cheaper models out there that are good. Tesla's a great car, but I'm actually looking at the Mach-E for my wife, the Ford Mach-E at one point. It's a beautiful vehicle, or hybrid. Hybrid are a little cheaper than the EVs. But with the electric cars, they have some federal credits that they're giving. I believe there's still an incentive for an electric vehicle. Not with Tesla though. They've they've sold too many cars. They can't do it. But the other automakers, you can get an incentive. I believe it's like you can get about $7,000 back if you buy an EV. Why is that important? Look how high gas is right now. If you have an electric vehicle. And here's the thing what I hear, especially I've talked to Tesla owners, and one of the things they always say, I have no maintenance. I've had my car for a year and a half, 2 years, and I've had no maintenance, and I haven't been to a gas station, and I've never been to a gas station. It's crazy, all right? So consider that. All right, number 7. This is a very important one. At home, the electric utilities energy is going up. Unplug your electrical items that are not in use. For example, computers, TVs, hair dryers, printers, coffee makers, microwaves, phone chargers, toasters. People don't realize that just because you're not at that using that item, if it's plugged in, you're using a certain amount of electricity. Begin to unplug some of those items in your house that you're not using. I'm not telling you to unplug the refrigerator, of course not. But an item that you're not using, like a hair dryer, if it's plugged in, you're using electricity. It's driving your bill up. Okay, so begin to turn to reduce by taking and unplugging some of those items that you're not using. All right. Okay, another hack for inflation: transfer credit cards to a lower interest rate card. There are all kinds of deals, especially at the beginning of the year, where companies are saying, hey, come over here, zero interest for a year, 2 years, if you transfer your balance, your balance from your other credit card to us, and then for a year. And so you have a year to pay that credit card off with no interest. So that is something you want to think about doing. If you have credit card debt and you're paying a lot of interest, think about, and a lot of times it's based on your credit history on whether they'll do that. But you can do it. Transfer over and begin to pay that thing down with no interest. All right. All right. I think that was number 8. Number 9. This is very important. Look at your bank statement. I do this every year. I look at both my wife, myself and my wife's bank statement. My water. Let's get some water here. Yeah. All right, give me a second. All right. So here's what I'll do every year at the beginning of the year. I'll look at my bank statement and I'll look for any kind of recurring items that I'm paying for that I'm not aware of. How many of you have been you've been the victim of this? Where there's an infomercial or a commercial or something you see online. You're like, oh, some vitamins I want to try. And they say, yeah, here's a trial. Pay nothing. 7-day trial. And then you click on it, you get your little 7-day trial, you put your credit card on there and you forget about it. You get the vitamins and you're taking the vitamins and you forgot to cancel after the trial. How many times have that happened to you? And you look up and you're paying $70 a month. And 6 months down the road, you've paid all this money to this for an item that you didn't want on a regular basis. I've made a decision. Hey, I stay away from trial offers. If I want it, I get it, and I stay away from the trial offers because a lot of times people will forget, and it's a marketing strategy that they do. Okay, so what you want to do is at the beginning of the year, go through your bank statement and look to see. You'll be surprised how many things are coming out of that's coming, all the money that's coming out of your account that you weren't even aware of or you forgot about. Something that you purchased and they've been going into your account, pulling money out of it, $10, $9.99. They add up. $10 a month, 12 months, that's $120. You do that for 3 years. So go through, and I mean, when you go through, call immediately and cancel. Hey, I no longer want this subscription. And you'll be shocked how much money you can save during this time of inflation. All right? All right. Okay. Here's another one that I do at the beginning of the year. I renegotiate utilities, uh, cable, insurance companies. Call your insurance company and see if you can get a better rate for that car insurance, home insurance, whatever type of insurance that you have, begin to ask them. You have not because you ask not. Call them. Some of you, they've increased your insurance and you don't even realize it. If you've got it on a recurring payment, call and see, especially if you moved into a new area. Say you're in a less populated area, you can get your car rate down, your car insurance rate down. So if you move, you should automatically call about getting a different rate, unless, of course, you're moving into a much more traffic in metropolitan place where it's a lot of traffic and it's going to go and it's going to rise. Yeah, you may not want to offer that. Obviously, you got to let the insurance company know where you've moved. Okay, but what I'm saying is call these different companies and see if you can get a better price. And hey, if they know that you have a competitor that you're thinking about, and that's one of the things that I'll bring up, I said, well, I'm thinking about going to another company. And wait, they don't want to lose you. Retention is everything for them. They don't want to lose you. So they'll make a deal. Okay. What it'll do, it'll lower your cost, lower your monthly bill. Okay. Inflation. We got to fight inflation, gang. We got to fight this. Uh, get a part time job. That's another one. Number 11. Get a part time job. And here, listen, 10 hours at $20 an hour. Say something, you get something for $20 an hour, 10 hours. That's $200 a week, $800 a month. That $800 you can take it and invest it, but first use it to kill any debt. And that's what, sometimes people will do. They'll get a part-time job temporarily, not permanently, just to help and get over the edge to kill debt. What you really want to do is get out of debt in 2022. Get out of debt. All right. And so part-time job is another hack during inflation. Get an additional job, get some additional finances coming in. Some of you don't have enough money coming in. You don't have enough revenue coming in. You don't have enough income coming in. Your expenses are up here, but your revenue, your income is down here. You want your income up here, and your expenses to decline to become less. All right. And I know you know this, you guys. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but this is a good reminder, especially during this season where we have a lot of inflation. All right. Here's a couple of ones. Rent out an extra room. If you have, say you have a 3-bedroom and you're only using 1 or 2, rent out a room. What is that? What will that do? That'll help you with your mortgage or your rent if you have an apartment. It'll help towards the cost of that. Yeah, you get an additional $600-700. And of course, you want to vet and screen the person to make sure you got the right person in your place. But this is a way that you can. This is a way that you can attack inflation. Now you got more money coming in. That's going to raise your income. All right. What can you do with that extra income? You can add it to bills. You can get out of debt, and you can invest. All right. All right. Number 13. You can rent your vehicle out. I believe it's Turo. Company online, Turo, and people are renting out their vehicles. And if you have a Tesla, oh my God, the more higher profile the car is, the more you can charge. But you can rent your vehicle out. Say you have a second vehicle that you're not using, rent it out for the weekend. Try it, test it. I know a lot of people are like, hey, I don't want people driving my car that I don't know. I get that, okay? But I'm saying it's time for us to think outside the box. Okay, it's time for us to think outside the box. Rent it out. Make an extra $200 or $300. Just even if you did it 1 weekend a month, your car is making money for you. If you're at home, especially during the pandemic, a lot of people are not going out, they're not doing as much. And you're at home, your car is sitting there. It could be out making money for you, making $200 or $300 that weekend. All right? Okay, here's the one more I'm going to give you. You can rent out your garage space. Say you have a garage, a nice garage, and Now some people might be like, you know what, I got too much stuff in my garage. Well, maybe it's time for you to clean your garage. Let's have spring cleaning a little early this year, okay? Maybe it's time for you to clean out your garage. Did you know that your garage can bring you money? There is a website called neighbor.com. Neighbor.com. You can read, there's several actually websites, but that's one of them that I'm aware of, neighbor.com, where you can rent out your garage. And it's usually a neighbor. Most people, it's people around that they know. I was listening to one of the testimonies on their website, and the guy said, yeah, I signed up as a host on neighbor.com, and one of my friends, they hooked me up with one of my friends, and we called each other. He's like, what, you want a space? And he said yes. So it worked out perfectly because it's cheaper than going to public storage. And so you can keep your garage, if you're not using it for much. You can keep your garage filled up with other people's stuff, and get a fee and pay. You get paid for it. You become the storage unit. All right. So um, yeah, I think that's it. I have some more. I'll probably do a third video. But these are some hacks, and let's just quickly go over each one of them again. Okay, I want to make sure that you write them down because you look, I'm not putting all that on my video. Just write it down. This is good for you. Write it down. Number one, savings, but save into an interest-bearing account, not just the bank. Save. Make sure you're saving. This is to combat inflation in 2022. Number two, pay off debt that doesn't have a fixed rate. Number three, pack your lunch. Number four, when you're at dinner, eat before you leave. When you go out to dinner with your friends, eat before you leave the big meal, and then when you get there, just have appetizers. You'll save some money. Um, Number five, shop at a secondhand store, yard sales, market, Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor app. Number six, economical car. You want an economical car during this time. If you're thinking of buying a car, get an EV or a hybrid. Save on that gas money, right? Number seven, unplug electrical items that are in use in your home. Computers, TVs, hair dryers, printers, coffee makers, microwaves, phone chargers, toasters, and so many more items that you have plugged in that you're not using. All right. It'll reduce your electrical bill. Okay. Number eight, transfer credit cards to a lower interest rate card. Number nine, look at your bank statement and check on reoccurring items that you're paying that you're not aware of or you've forgotten. Look through there and say, oh my God, what is that? Where did that come from? Call the company. They will remove it right away. Many of them know they're doing the wrong thing. And they said, well, you didn't cancel the trial. All right. All right. Number 10, renegotiate your insurance policies, utilities, cell phone bills. Call up Verizon, call them and say, hey, I want a better plan. What can you do for me? Or I'm going to T-Mobile. Trust me, they'll do it. All right. Get a part-time job making $20 or more. Minimum wage, I don't care. But I mentioned $20 because if you only work 10 hours a week, listen, you guys, just 10 hours, $20 an hour, that's $200 a week. Okay, you got to pay taxes, I get it. But you're averaging around between $600 and $800 a month. That can go towards investing and debt. All right. So number 11, I said, get a part-time job. Number 12, rent out an extra room in your home or your apartment. Rent it out. Generate more income. Combat inflation. Number 13, rent your own vehicle. Rent your vehicle. Turo, rent your own vehicle. Make some extra money on the side. And the last but not least, number 14, rent out your garage space. Neighbor.com is the place that I referred. Neighbor.com. You can rent out your garage space. Some people are like, I don't want nobody coming up in my garage. Listen, okay, if you want to be that way, you can. You better start thinking outside the box. Remember, you guys, the richest people on earth, and I'm going to close with this. have at least 10 streams of income, between 7 and 10 streams of income. The days of just having a job and think you're going to be okay, those days are short lived. You've got to have some other income. You better be having other income coming in from various places. All right. So I believe you're going to have victory over this inflation thing. Okay. So don't panic. Don't be afraid. You've got all the skills. And remember, you will not earn if you do not learn. Keep learning. Keep learning about the stock market, bonds, real estate. Financial literacy is going to be vital in these last days. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye bye.